I'm going to share with you a little bit about working with children and families. So this is art therapy with children. I just wanted to share a couple of quick things here, because I think this is just kind of reinforcing what we've been talking about. And with children, it's really no different. I think that it's the therapeutic use of art and play. When you're working with children, just remember that you want to engage the child at the developmental level of the child. You also want to invite in creativity in compelling ways, right? So that's why we try to make it play. We try to make it fun. So we don't rely too heavily on verbal processes like sitting down and talking to them, unless that's just something that some children want to do. But for the most part, that's the purpose of doing the play and having different techniques, art techniques. So generally, when it comes to working with children, there's art therapy, play therapy, there's sand therapy. Sometimes it's called sand tray. And then I threw in virtual therapy because that was something that was happening for a while with therapists and children. Of all the 3 expressive therapies, you want to make sure that the activities are easy for the children to engage in, so we don't want to do things that are way too complicated. So you want to work with materials and sessions that give the children a positive association with therapy, just what we talked about, making sure that the approaches are also safe and structured and that it's a non-judgmental environment. Again, not relying too much on that's a pretty picture, but just being more curious about their creativity and allow for what they're sharing for you to also help you get into the story that they're trying to tell you, right? With the puppets or any of the art, a lot of times with the children, they're revealing secrets, they're developing insights, they're adapting to circumstances, coping strategies are in there, maybe even repairing psychological damage. Sand therapy is there. Typically they have a blue bottom so that worlds can be created, and it's a structured world, like really into like a square. You can use other things like rice and baskets, and they can still make a story out of a lot of different found objects like stones, and you can have little people in there. And the virtual therapies, I Spy game. I spy something in the room that's soft and that you use to feel comfortable. And the therapist or the child could be like, oh, it's a pillow. It's that pillow over there. Another one that I thought was really interesting was the news hour. It's like, oh, can you do a news report on what's been happening in your world today? The child could simply tell a story about something that's in the room or about their favorite toy. Tell me the story about this turtle. I think even with Zoom, you have a whiteboard and you could draw together. And with older children, and maybe sometimes some younger children, you can share favorite music, their favorite songs or playlists. So with family art therapy, it's a little bit more the same. Like you're using the art therapy for families to kind of see how the family members are interacting with each other. So these are just some other activities. Some of these we've done a tree of life, but you can have the family do the tree of life together, or they can all do their own separate one. And then there's some ways where you can just have the family do art processes silently and see how they communicate non-verbally. You can give them prompts, and you could do a geniogram with them as well, if that's something that you feel would be useful. So yeah, and then they can draw and collage together. That's kind of pretty much it.